Welcome to Manhattan Community Board 3's full board meeting. My name is Andrea Gordillo. For those of you who don't know me, I see new members here. We'll get to that in a little bit. As always, we get started with public session first, but I see Councilmember Epstein is here now, so I'll hand over the mic to have him give his report.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, everyone. Hello, everyone. Community Board 3. How's everyone doing? Good, good. We have a lot of new members today. Welcome to all the new appointees, whether you're appointed by me or someone else to the board. We really appreciate your volunteering this service. As people know, I served on Community Board 3 for 14 years. I was like Andre, I was the chair of the board, and I know how important the boards are. So I really do appreciate you all being a part of this really critical place in our community. It is the lowest form of government, but it's so local that you can work on issues and make change. And I've seen that happen, and I really value the feedback of community boards. So we have a couple events coming up. Happy to talk about those, talking about where things are on the city budget. I do these things called Hang with Harvey. We're doing another one right at Astor Place on Thursday. You're welcome to come join us. Our Movies in the Park series starts coming. We have one this Thursday, Kung Fu Panda, right at McKinley Playground. We have a bunch in July. They're in our newsletter. G-Man, I think we put them in the back. The newsletter's in the back. You can get them online too. We always like doing summer movies. We started this like 3 years ago in Tompkins Square Park, and they've been a real hit. So we have a whole series. We're doing Tompkins Square Park. We're doing Union Square, and we're doing Bellevue Park this summer. So a bunch of movies that are happening. We have a paper shredding event we're doing in July. We did one last week at Tompkins Square Park. We're doing another one at Tompkins Square Park in July. If you have paper and want to shred it, people love paper shredding, so great things to do. We're doing an e-waste event. So if you have questions about those ongoing events, please join me. Just last week, we had our Juneteenth event on Thursday at the Merchant's House. If you haven't been to the Merchant's House, I would encourage you to go. It is an amazing place, and the park next to the Merchant House, Emmanuel Park, talks about the history of slavery in the United States. Merchant's House was an Underground Railroad site, and you can see where the Underground Railroad was. That's really kind of a part of our history, and our responsibility is to save places like that so we continue to talk about our community. So I don't know if you saw that a person was killed last week on a horse carriage. A bill used to be called Rider's Law, which would be banning horse carriages in Central Park. We've been trying to push this now for about 20 years. There's a hearing on July 15th at City Hall where we're going to have a hearing on it. I'd encourage people who care about this issue to come. And next week is likely to be the budget deadline. We're voting on the city budget probably by next Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. You know, the city budget's about $125 billion. We will fund or not fund really critical things like, as Susan knows, trying to either we increase the community board budget or we don't increase the budget. So it's really important to hear from people about what your needs are and priorities are. It's only about a week left. Well, only a week left because we will have to vote by next Tuesday. So it's really important to give my office and other offices feedback on the budget. If you have any other questions, you know, G-Man's here. He represents me very well. And if you have questions, if the chair allows, I'm happy to take one or two. But I know you have a full meeting. And all this last thing, today is primary day. There's always a meeting on primary day. But encourage people who haven't voted. The polls are open for another 2.5 hours. Get out there and vote. Make sure you get out there and vote. And with no questions, I'll let you move on to your public session.
Thank you. All right, as always, we get started with the meetings with public session. You're given 2 minutes to speak. I'll wave you down when you're about 20 seconds away from time. And the first person is Shivani Ruparelia. Shivani here? Okay. Oh, okay. Jenny Bell? If I have that right?
Hi, everyone. My name is Jenny Valverona. I am the owner of Dolce Momento. It's a restaurant I recently opened with the help of my sister over there. I'm just here to really introduce myself, and I'm really glad to be part of the community. I've been trying to open this restaurant for the past 2.5 years, and it's finally opened. So I thought, why not come in and invite you all to join me in this journey? We're located at 221 East Broadway, right by Clinton. And yeah, it was just to really introduce myself. And thank you guys for the support. I've received a lot of support from the community so far, and hopefully I receive the support of all of you as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you. If we could refrain from clapping, we tried to keep things in order. Up next is Georgia Stuhl. Is Georgia here? If I thought the right name. Okay. All right, we'll move on to Anne Mitchelltree.
Good evening. Hi, how are you? I just want to speak a minute about 93 and a half on East 7th Street. Mary O'Halloran, as you may know, she opened up the Irish soda bread shop. It's almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in November. There is somebody who speaks to Mary and she says, I am the block manager. Now, I don't know if this is the East 7th Street Block Association or someone else. And she says to Mary, and I quote, you're going to get a ticket. You're going to get a ticket because there are customers on the sidewalk. Now, I just need to know what is true, who's going to give out this ticket, and what Mary can do to obey the law so that she doesn't get a ticket. But this is terrifying to have this woman bring her pit bull into the store on Father's Day in front of all the customers and start proclaiming, you're going to get a ticket. The bakery itself is about as big as that piano. She's got a sink for the dishes, an oven, and a small counter space. If you could rent CVS, the corner store, then obviously all the customers could fit inside. They don't fit inside because it's a small space. It's only open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 7 in the morning. They're usually closed by 1 o'clock. It's the early bird. I've walked past that store many times. You can't hear anything. They're not talking. They're not laughing. They're not drunk. There are no drugs. There is no alcohol. It's a bakery. It's a very small corner bakery. And I just want someone, if I have to go to the police, I will, to tell me the law on this issue. Thank you.
Mary and I have already discussed that she's not breaking the law. She's fine.
Okay, up next is Shivani online. Is she online?
If anybody, Giovanni, raise your hand if If that's you, I don't see anybody though.
Let's see. One of my position press. Okay, up next from in person is Marina Testino. Oh, she's online. Marina Testino and then Trish Goff. Anne Hayes.
Yes.
Anne, I'll give you 2 minutes to speak. Anne, are you able to? Okay. And can you try speaking again? We can't hear you. Okay, we'll try you again. Trish, if you're able to come.
Hi, my name is Trish Goff and I live on Third Street between Second and Bowery. I'm here to speak about the intake center that is supposed to open on August 1st. I'm actually quite shocked that it's not on tonight's agenda. Especially that it's opening in 5 weeks from now, if it does. As a community, I think that we should demand, the city has told us that this is a temporary intake facility. And if that's true, then what is the date it closes? I don't think we should accept an indefinite as a substitute for temporary. I've also asked about the Community Advisory Board. I would like to demand a list of who's on the Community Advisory Board. Are there residents from the actual affected block on Third Street represented? If not, then I don't understand the point of the advisory board. And I've asked Councilman Epstein, CB3, about a pre-opening meeting, that we demand a full community meeting dedicated specifically to the project before the August 1st start date. I believe our residents are in danger, that our elderly neighbors are going to be intimidated, and that our small businesses, the heart of this neighborhood, could be forced to lose business and close because of this mismanagement. And I think that is the responsibility of our community board and our elected officials, due to the fact that we have done everything that we can to do what we could to have the city go through its protocols, which is the New York Charter, which seems to be ignored right now. I'm urging everyone in this room, if you are near this or involved in it, to become united, because it is going to take all of us to keep the city, to keep its word on what it has told us. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. If, okay.
Okay, can people, okay.
And can you try speaking again? Maybe it's a problem with Anne's microphone at home. Let's try Colleen O'Connor Grant. All right, can we go back to Marina Testino? Marina Testino. No, Colleen? Yeah. Carol Putra Sis. Putra Sis. Lyle Casriel. Jason Murillo. Jason Murillo. Veronica Gonzalez. Sorry, there's a lot to get through. Keith Gadsden. Anne Schwenk. Nicholas Gonzalez. William Wright. For the record, all of these people have signed up to speak about the intake shelter. Nilsa Sanchez. Matt Schlee. David Mulkins. Tina Prosa. So is David here? Yeah? Yes.
Hello. Hi, my name is David Mulkins. I'm president of the Bowery Alliance of Neighbors. The New York City Charter says that proposed actions that could negatively impact community safety and quality of life are supposed to be carefully approached with prior neighborhood notification, public hearings, environmental impact studies, a fair share analysis, and a uniform land use review procedure. The intake center located at 3rd Street in the 1970s and 80s was a disaster and was shut down. The ComStat crime statistics show that the 13th precinct, where Bellevue is currently located, has twice or more crime than our 9th precinct. Certainly, this should show that this is an issue that is very important to the safety and quality of life in this community. The citywide intake center will bring busloads of 60 to 100 people, different people every single day. It's not like the shelter that's been for decades on 3rd Street that everybody is quite used to and embraces. We would welcome having the shelter continue on 3rd Street. But the intake center is a much different situation because you can walk down the block and you will never know what is awaiting you. The people that come in the bus loads can be from Rikers Island, they can be from psychiatric hospitals, all kinds of things. Anyway, I strongly urge Community Board 2 and Community Board 3 to jointly establish a committee that will meet at the same time, same place about this issue, which is so important to our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, up next is Daphne J. Bell. John Ruha. Jamil Merali. David Bonuvier. Jean Standish.
My name is Jean Standish, and I'm Vice President of the Bowery Alliance of Neighbors. I've lived in the East Village for over 50 years. We are here to announce the results of a neighborhood audit that proves the city is violating the spirit of fair share in regard to the conversion of the men's 3rd Street shelter to a 24/7 5-borough intake center, which will also include Rikers Island. Within just a 5-block radius of East Third Street, our community already hosts 5 shelters. By adding a 24/7 citywide intake shelter and a substance abuse program to 8 East Third Street and another intake center at 333 Bowery, the city is not just adding a facility, they are creating a municipal processing zone on a narrow residential street. We are announcing today that our neighborhood has done its part. We have lived in harmony with our unhoused neighbors for decades, but clustering high-intensity citywide services in one small area is a management failure waiting to happen. We are asking CB3 to acknowledge that fair share has officially become an unfair burden for the East Village. Also, we are demanding full transparency regarding Community Advisory Board. We want a public list of who is on the board. We need a guarantee that residents from the actual affected block on Third Street have a seat at the table. You cannot advise on a community if the people living on the front lines are being excluded. We are appealing, we are organizing, and we are not going away. To my neighbors, look for our team at the back of the room after the meeting to get a card and join our mailing list. We must stay united to protect our neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, up next is Vivian Lewitt. She's here. Sherry Grand. Nikki Donahue. Ying Jia. Elliot Rollins. Amal Gupta. Okay, that's it for public session. Thank you all. We'll move on to elected official reports. Is Ovi here today from Mayor Mamdani? I don't think I see Curtis Young, Controller Mark Levine. Is Evelyn here? Yi from BP's office? Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yi Wang, and I'm the community liaison for CB3 with the Borough President's Office, if you haven't seen me before. First of all, I just want to thank the old members who have served the community board and continue to serve the community board. Also welcome the new members to our community boards. I just want to call out their names specifically just to recognize them. We have Mary Jiang. Welcome. And we have Serengeti Timangwa. Hi, welcome. We have Adam Algalith. Hi, how are you? And Alejandro Epifano Torres. Okay, maybe next time. And Troy Mack. Hi, welcome. Zuli Velasquez. Oh, hi. Far East. Okay. And also Claudia de la Cruz. Hi, welcome. And Francisco Lebron. Hi, welcome, welcome. Thank you for your interest in serving Community Board 3. And I'm looking forward to working with you guys in the future. Also, I have very exciting news to announce with you guys, which is that during the World Cup, we have 2 watch parties happening in the Borough of Manhattan. It's going to be this Saturday. The first one is going to be in Central Park at the summer stage at 5 p.m. For the game Bahama versus England. And the next one is going to be 7:30 way uptown at the United Palace for Colombia and Portugal. It's free, and if you're interested, you can join us at the Central Park and United Palace. The next one is that the BP wrote to NYCHA Chair Lisa Bovahiat to urge NYCHA to provide elected officials with improved capital development reports so that we can better ensure and advocate. So the BP wrote this letter along with other electeds to urge support and also transparency regarding funds towards NICHA development. And the next one is that, a great news to announce that we have a new role in our Borough President's office, which is the first ever Manhattan Tenants Union led by Director Borough Organizing Alejandro Corriat. And he's gonna be on the field in community centers, tenant association meetings, and apartment buildings. Ensure tenants understand their protections and have the collective power to enforce them. And also that we recently released a neighborhood report card on dog waste. Using comparative 311 data to measure the quality of city services across Manhattan. This is the first in a series of neighborhood report cards that will focus on quality of life concerns and help identify practical solutions for communities throughout the borough. The report card can be found on our website. Last but not least, so the Borough President Office have submitted our recommendations on the St. Augustine's Preservation and Redevelop application to DCP, and the Borough President have voted yes to this project. And that's it for my report. Any questions? Awesome. Happy summer then.
Thank you. Yi. All right, up next is the District Attorney's Office, Sherman. Thank you.
Hey, just Sherman Goldblum from the Attorney's Office. For the folks that are new, congratulations on new community board members. I just have two announcements. Our gun buyback on June 13th was extremely successful. We got the most guns returned in Manhattan history at 147. So that's something to be proud of, getting guns off the street. So that's one NYPD officer said that's 147 lives saves, which is pretty important. The other thing is that upcoming flyer is still being finalized. There's going to be an opportunity fair for folks on the Lower East Side on July 22nd in partnership with organizations like Grand Street Settlement, University Settlement, and Henry Street Settlement, and a few others. We're trying to do different trainings for folks like Narcan training, Stop the Bleed training, CPR, and sexual health and wellness. More information on that and a flyer upcoming. That's all that I have for today, and I'll take any questions at this time.
Thanks, Sherman. Is Congressmember Goldman's office here? Wesley? Assemblymember Grace Lee? I know it's a busy day. All right, Assemblymember Debla Glick's office? Great.
Hi, everyone. Lane Sohn from Assemblymember Deborah Glick's office. Nice to see you all. Welcome to new members. Just a quick legislative update. So as you probably know, the state budget was extremely overdue this year, leaving less than 2 weeks of the legislative session. So despite this barrier, good work was done, but obviously, that went later than was expected. And not anyway, so some budget highlights that you might have seen or might not have seen. Assemblymember Glick was thrilled to see her pied-à-terre surcharge on high-value second homes for non-residents enacted in the budget. So that is projected to bring $500 million to the city. So excited about that. Another great policy that was in the budget, updates to SCREE, DREE, SHE, and D in the budget to increase maximum household income limit for eligibility. So that went from 50,000 to 75,000, which was championed with Senator Kavanaugh. So we're very excited for that to be in the budget. And some just legislative updates, bills that Assemblymember Glick was happy to see pass. Low impact landscaping, which allowed homeowners to choose environmentally responsible landscaping for their own yards despite HOA prohibitions, legislation to protect tropical forests and tidal wetlands regulation, She passed a bill to prohibit dangerous wildlife from being used in traveling roadside shows, you know, big cats, bears, kangaroos, etc. And then lastly, she was very disappointed to not have her Packaging Reduction and Recycling Infrastructure Act brought to the floor for a vote in the assembly. Hopefully someone will take that on, you know, next session, as this is her last legislative session. But yeah, thanks so much. Nice to see you all. Have a great evening.
Thanks. Any questions for Lane? Okay, thank you. Up next is Senator Kavanaugh's off. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Assemblymember Powers. I see Joanna's here. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. Assemblymember Powers has 4 highlights. So Assemblymember Powers helped win a victory for the community this year. New York State budget, including lifting the threshold for screen injury income eligibility from 50,000 to 75,000. The second highlight is Assemblymember Powers' first bill was signed by the governor, A 10541, to ensure that all New Yorkers who apply for SUNY schools are charged in-state tuition. Students who missed the deadline to certify their residency will be given the chance to remedy the situation instead of being charged out-of-state tuition. The third highlight is Assemblymember Powers supported several important pieces of legislation that passed at the end of session, including a ban on surveillance pricing, a 1-year moratorium on data center construction, and the SUNY Act, which allows portable in-home solar generation. And finally, alongside 160 million for after-school programs and specialized reading support, Assemblymember Powers fought hard to protect the vital 3K and pre-K seats across our district, ensuring working families maintain access to critical early childhood. In addition to that, there is no updates, but I'm open to any questions. Huh? Oh. Oh, portable solar. Oh. Oh, yeah. Supported for, okay. Can I adjust that afterwards? Thank you. Thank you. All right. Shriya, yes, from Senator Kavanaugh's office.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shu Yi. I'm here on behalf of State Senator Brian Kavanaugh. Welcome to the new members. Now that the legislative session is over, I want to share some of our legislative update. Senator Kavanaugh has passed 38 bills through the Senate this year. We are currently monitoring those bills and compiling details, and we hope to share more with you next time. Today, mostly as the other offices shared, the budget was passed. I also wanted to highlight some items in the budget. Since Senator Kavanaugh chairs the Senate Housing Committee, these are mostly from housing. First of all, this year's budget includes over $1 billion in capital funding. Some that are most relevant to this community includes $140 million for NYCHA, $85 million for Mitchell Llama preservation programs, and that includes $60 million for Mitchell Llamas in New York City. There is also $40 million for vacant apartment repair and rehabilitation program. Besides the capital budget, another critical victory for affordable housing is the J51 program expansion. J51 program provides a tax abatement for residential properties in New York City to rehabilitate multifamily housing. Through this year's budget, the J51 program was extended through 2036. It was originally set to expire next month. It also eliminates the 1,000 base filing fee and cap the fee at 20,000 per application. So overall, the changes make J51 more accessible for property owners to apply. Another accomplishment that I know many of you were following and the other offices has mentioned already, The maximum income threshold for SCREE, DREE, SHE, and D has increased from 50,000 to 75,000. SCREE and DREE freezes the tenant's contribution to their rent, and SHE and D provides tax exemption for homeowners. I think the other office, we already mentioned the increase. Just want to know that now that it is passed in the Senate, in the state, New York City must pass its own legislation to actually implement the change before residents can qualify under the higher limit. And we are currently working directly with the partners in City Council to make the change in New York City as soon as possible. Is there any questions?
Thank you, Sheree. All right, up next is Simon. Is Simon here from Councilmember Marte's office? No? Okay. All right, that concludes elected official reports. We'll move on to a roll call vote and approval of minutes.
Okay, pardon my mispronunciations for anyone's name. If you would like to speak up and correct me, please do. I didn't buy Hookathon Phonics when it was out, when I should have. Okay. Adam Aleha, Alghalith. Thank you. Stephen Ballinger. Tanya Bates. Lee Berman. Carlin Chan. Adriana Achua. She knows who she is. Adriana Achua. Okay. Vincent Cirrito. Absent. Claudia De La Cruz. Eric Diaz. Alistair Economus. Thank you. Tanisha Fields. Naomi. Crackerjack. I'll do it over. Taisha Fields. Yeah, P. Okay. Naima Fafana. Naima. John Fout. Catherine Freed. Sean Garcia. Ryan Gilliam. Charlie Goldensow. Andrea Gardero. Herman Hewitt. Trevor Holland. Mary Jung. Nancy Kong. Michelle Cooper Smith. Diane Lake. Francisco LeBron. May Lee. Michael Laverio. Molly Liu. Troy Mack. Campbell Mum. John Nitch. And Neidich. Yeah. Need it, okay. Adrani, thank you, Adrani, love you. Gravin Oliveras. Daisy Payas. Elena Perez. Raul, he's not here. Ramna Roy. R-A-O is the last name. Damaris Reyes. Tal Rod. Thank you. Jalen Rodriguez. Arnett Scott, present. Clint Smelter. Sandra Struther. Danielle Tao. Tao, thank you. I know who you are, I just don't know how to pronounce your name. Zachary Thomas. Serengeti, Timung. Thank you. How do you pronounce your name? Tamula, thank you. Alejandro Torres. Zuli Velasquez. Thank you. Josephine Velez. Catherine Webster. Okay, thank you.
All right, on to board reports. Happy election day, everyone. I'm gonna hope that we get out of here on time for those of you who haven't voted, to please go out and vote. I want to recognize some members who are not here, but who's would have been their last time here, and that's Valentina Jones and David Adams. Together, they served more than 30 years on this board, so I just want to recognize their contributions, and I'm sure we'll see them again. And welcome all the new members who are here. We're really happy to have you here, and just wanted to share a few things about the board, our culture, some housekeeping. I know some of the vice chairs tried to pair some of you up with mentors. We do that just so that they're there to help you understand how to vote. Sometimes that can be confusing, especially when there's amendments to some of the items on the vote sheets. Well, also, you all would have received an invite to the July 12th new member party. Thank you, Daisy Paez, for organizing that. Please make sure to RSVP to that. We'll share more about what we do as a board. You'll hear from the chairs of the committees. It'll be an opportunity to learn more about what we do and more from each other. Just to note, please encourage everyone to read through our bylaws so you understand sort of our like how we adhere to rules and practices. I always like to periodically share some notes about attendance. There are no excused absences. You're given up to 1/3 of, not an excuse, but you're able to miss up to 1/3 of your meetings. We count attendance at the beginning, as Arnett just did, and at the end. And each vote at the beginning, at the end, counts for half of an attendance point. And attendance is tabulated by the second vice chair in September and in October every 6 months. So it's really important that you show up and contribute to not just the full board, but your committee, and serve our community. And just a note, I know many of you returned the committee request forms. I just wanted to give you all some visibility into how those are done, because oftentimes, more often than not, you don't get your first choice. And I just wanted to explain a little bit about why that is. Our committees are broken up into, you'll see them all on the website. And we really strive to work together, all of the chairs, to figure out the right balance of representation across CB3, from across all geographies, from East Village, Lower East Side, and Chinatown, from backgrounds, expertise, life experiences, and so on. So we really strive to come up with a distribution that is reflective of the community and also serves the community best, from all of your experiences, whether that be professional or personal. So that's all I wanted to share, and I'll hand it over to Susan.
Thank you. I also want to welcome all our new members. Few more fun facts. Community boards are autonomous city agencies. Not everyone realizes we're a city agency. You are part-time public servants. We are generally described as independent, non-mayoral agencies, and there will be trainings on what all this means, but please feel free to reach out to me anytime with any questions.
We are currently actively in the budget process for community boards to write district needs statement and to rank budget priorities. The needs statement is an assessment of conditions and informs our budget priorities for funding. Is not a policy statement. Board members can take positions on policies by voting on resolutions. There's an abundance of information about the budget process and other issues on the website under resources. I second Andrea's suggestion to read the bylaws, which you can access from the homepage, and also our policies, and then start taking a look through the member resources. There's more there than you'll want to read, but if you can start with a few, like there's a handbook, I think it was from the mayor's office that's on there. That's a board member handbook. Community boards must be compliant with state open meeting law. And one of the regulations is that meetings must be posted at least 1 week in advance. Therefore, we always post the agenda for the next month 1 week before the first meeting. The first meeting is always Human Services. In July, the Human Services will meet on July 1st. So our agenda, July 9th. July 9th. So the agenda will be posted by July 2nd. The agenda's posted on the website, but also all members should sign up on our website where it says join email list. This is a constant contact list. And when you sign up, the agenda will be sent to you, emailed to you every month. Just a few complaints we've been getting in the office. There's been a number of complaints about the noisy emergency generator at the 9th precinct. They need the generator temporarily, but I've asked if baffling could be installed to muffle the noise. And of course, there's been a number of inquiries about the Department of Social Service Intake Center that's moving to 3rd Street. The center will open on August 1st. Currently, it is being used only if men are brought to the intake center late in the day, then they're brought to 3rd Street to sleep and then return to 30th Street in the morning. There, you may have seen people who live around there, DHS peacekeepers, their uniforms resemble police uniforms, and they're generally known as DHS police, and they're patrolling the area. And this security is actually much stronger than the private security used by previous providers, as the DHS police actually have more authority. And for anyone, I have contact information. If anyone has any questions about the intake center, I have here active email and phone numbers, which anyone can have to contact them. Another issue in our community has been the delivery worker bikes on 11th Street. The administration is working with us to try to resolve the problem. There is not a solution yet. However, the last administration wouldn't even attempt to work with us, so there's a lot of catching up to do. Community Board 3 has voted that there should be legislation to require companies to provide infrastructure. And currently, our council office, Harvey Epstein's office, is trying to set up a meeting with the app companies, the mayor's office, Community Board 3, and electeds to discuss with them the lack of storage for the bikes and how this could be remedied, hopefully more short term. Yesterday, I testified at the government operations meeting. This is what Harvey was referring to, the budget. These are meetings for the upcoming budget and what will be funded, as well as other legislation being introduced. So I testified at the Government Operations Committee. There is proposed legislation regarding district managers, regarding council members directly appointing board members, and about community board funding. Because there was only 3 minutes to speak, I spoke mostly regarding the district manager legislation. I spoke as an individual. And regarding funding, I testified that's been many years since community boards have received an increase, but technology and need for training for technology has increased the need for more funding. And I also said the biggest need was for increased salaries, as there's not pay parity between community boards and other city government positions. Many other boards testified on the same issues. There was, when I left, I was on the first panel. There was probably 20 to 30 boards testifying, particularly on the district manager legislation. Many of us shared actually the resolutions, so we all had the same drafts. District managers were mostly speaking as private people, and there were many chairs speaking for their community boards because they had voted on most of them, the district manager, and some of them on the council member legislation. Gail Brewer, who many of us know, is the chair of government operations, and those who know her know she's a great supporter of community boards, and she made it incredibly clear that she hated both proposed legislation, and she did commit that she would work for community board funding increases. And that's it, unless there's any questions. Is that a board member?
At this time, we only take questions from board members. But if you'd like to reach Susan, you can do so over email.
Oh.
Okay, public session is closed, but you can, like I said, you can email Susan with any questions you have or anything you want to share. Sorry, we missed you, but you do have to be here at the beginning at 6:30. Yeah, thank you. I can't. All right, any questions from board members? Okay. We'll move on to committee reports. The first one is executive committee. There were a couple of resolutions. I believe Susan and the vice chairs are available to answer any questions about them. Yeah, Andrani. Yes, if you agree with the resolution as is, you vote yes. Yeah. Okay, all right. Moving on to the outreach task force. Daisy, did you want to give any report at all? I know we don't have any resolution. You don't have to. Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. My apologies, Daisy. I missed the memo, yeah.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the newcomers. The community board new members party is coming up Sunday, July 12th from 4 to 6 p.m. and it's for everyone. I would like for you to RSVP to me by July 3rd and let me know if you're going to bring anything so we can avoid duplicate dishes. You are not obligated at all to bring anything. It's just a suggestion to share your favorite dishes. We also welcome wine and soda if you like. We will also have drinks. We hope you can join us for an afternoon of good food, great conversation, and community spirit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daisy. Appreciate it. Up next is transportation. I think Sean is going to be reporting on that in lieu of Vinny. He's not here today. Thank you.
Hey, everyone. Transportation, we had a few items. It was a pretty light meeting, though. We had a presentation from DOT talking about their new e-bike charging initiative. Folks might have remembered there was an e-bike charging pilot like a year or two ago, and a couple of them were in our district. So the city's moving forward with 25 sites across the city. They proposed a few in our district, 5, but they wanted to get feedback from us, which we gave them feedback. They'll probably end up selecting 2 to 3 locations in our district. We also had TLC come by. They just did an information presentation. Didn't talk about anything pressing, talked about their goal to get half of, TLC cars to be green and electric by 2030 and things like that. They were just more there if we had any questions. So that was nice that they showed up. We had 2 inner-city bus stop applications. Those resolutions are in your vote sheet. There was a bit of community concern about too many buses in the Chinatown neighborhood specifically. So it was a good opportunity for us to ask DOT to come back and share with us, the current status of how many buses are approved in the district, and so we can have a good gauge of that going forward. And we did our district needs review, and that was it. Any questions? Catherine, then. Catherine first, yeah. Oh, you need a mic.
Thanks. Yeah, I just got contacted by some residents of Chinatown. The proposal, especially the one at 9 Chatham Square, is directly in front of a restaurant called The Bridges, and this is going to be really disruptive for them. And also, I know that there had, in the past, a number of years ago, when I was in the council, there was a stop at this area, and it was a continual ongoing problem because of the fumes from the idling buses. They're not supposed to idle, but they do anyway. Right? So I just wanted to bring that up, just to say that they are concerned about it, and it would be nice. I know you mentioned the problems in Chinatown. Also, the fact that this is a 6-month program, but it's right where they're doing all the changes and reconfiguring the street pattern and the changes with Chatham Square, Kim Lau Square. So it looks like it's going to be a real problem, given the problem that we expect to have with with vehicles in that area anyway, because of the changing street pattern. So I think it's a particularly bad idea. So I just wanted to mention that.
Thanks, Catherine. Yeah, and I will say that some of the residents were pushing for that bus stop to be moved to Canal. And DOT's justification was that a lot of the reconfiguration that's happening on Canal more immediately is not why they did it on Canal, and they put it on the Allen Street location. And we encourage the residents for sure, since it's a 6-month pilot, to really give feedback throughout that 6 months, file 311 complaints if they're seeing, idling, double parking, pedestrian paths being overwhelmed. And so, yeah.
My question was about both of these. Do they have phone numbers? How we always ask for a phone number for SLA. If we see these things, who do we call? Because I don't see they're going to list a phone number.
Okay, it is different than the SLA. If you see problems, do 2 things. Call 311 and email the community board. And if you see something that you can take a photo of, that's also really helpful, like double parking or something like that.
Thanks. Next question.
So, sorry. So both of these bus stops are happening in areas where there are already many bus stops. And for the one on Allen, it is right in front of a city bike parking spot, which already decreases the amount of square footage, like road square footage, I guess. And for Chatham Square, it is already a pretty dangerous area, especially for pedestrians and people who are cycling. How exactly are these concerns being addressed? Because you said that they seemed concerned with addressing them.
Yeah, great question. So the Allen Street location is a designated bus stop. So there's already a designated place. So the way the DOT works this is they have their designated bus stops, and they assess, do they think that bus stop can it deal with the amount of loading and offloading. I think there's an arrival and departure for this particular one, once a day. So DOT assessed that that was workable at that location. And then the Chatham Square, actually, this application, it was odd that it came to the to the committee because it's an existing stop that a company has been using for many years, and it's just a new company that has brought out the old company. And so they came and, you know, so it's already existing. It's not a new operation. In fact, it's a decreased operation from what it was prior. And no new buses and no new bus stops for the first one. It's already established bus stop. It's because the Zoom.
I just wanted to offer clarity because the bus stop that's on Allen Street, it wasn't a concern because it's after hours. So if we're looking at the times that are drop-offs and pickup, it's at 8:30 p.m. It doesn't disturb the neighborhood. It doesn't add any additional congestion. So I wanted to make sure that we were clear on that point.
Thanks. Any other questions on any of those items?
So I just want to give a little history of the bus stops. Community Board 3 was very instrumental, probably at least 15 years ago, in having these designated bus stops, because before that, there were the interstate city buses stopped anywhere. There were no rules, there were no regulations, and it was chaos. So we were able to, took years, but we were able to get the state to pass a law that would allow city council to pass a law that would have the bus stops must be regulated. They must be licensed to stop there. They must come before the community board. So we consider this as really bringing a lot more order into the community.
I think that's it.
Okay, thank you so much, Sean. All right, up next is Diane. Are you able to give a report for parks? Thank you.
So Trevor's not here tonight. I'll report out on our Parks Committee meeting. We had hoped to bring you a resolution to ask you to vote for naming a section of Tompkins Square Park after Harold Hunter. That will probably come in July rather than tonight, because we are getting some guidance from the Parks Department on the proper way to put the name together, what to call the space that is being named after Harold Hunter. So as soon as Parks weighs in, we'll bring that to you. The other important thing that happened was we got a report from the organization called Sail 250, which is a nonprofit organization doing a lot on the waterfront for the 4th of July weekend and America's 250th birthday. Excuse me. On July 3rd, there will be a parade of Class B tall ships down the East River. Those are smaller so that they can fit under the Brooklyn Bridge to get out into the harbor. And unfortunately, at the moment, it looks like none of these tall ships will be docking at Pier 36, which we had hoped they would, so that the public could visit them. Instead, it looks like activities like that will be consolidated down at the seaport. In addition, we don't know yet how much of the waterfront, which means East River Park, Pier 42, Pier 36, and Pier 35, will be open on July 3rd and July 4th for this parade of the tall ships and for the fireworks that night. Susan and Trevor are continuing to work with the Parks Department, with EDC, and with the Sail 250 people to try to figure out what is going to be going on in all those spaces as of July 3rd and 4th. Unfortunately, we were not able to get clear answers yet on what the situation will be. If you remember last year on July 4th, both East River Park and Pier 42 closed at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but Pier 36 did remain open. So we're trying to figure out what's going on there and, kind of update everybody as soon as there's something definitive from the city. Does anybody have any questions? Hi, Zuli.
I think there's like a boat coming called the Kennedy that is gonna be real big and it's gonna be like over 2,000 people on it or something like that, I heard. I'm not too sure if you guys know any information on it that you could share with the rest of the board.
I don't think we got a list of the ships coming down the East River. The only ones that were named for us were the ones that will be over on the Hudson. And they can be taller because they don't have to pass under the bridges. But I think Trevor has a presentation, so we can look on there and see if there's any information. Tahisha.
I think I have just one question. Since you don't know if the pier is gonna be closed, based on what happened, I'm not sure if it was last year or a couple of years ago, with the party boats that are in that area. And because it's gonna be a big celebration, are they aware of what's gonna happen in that area? Because it's also, the construction is really hard for people to get around, and then there's still different things that they can get to. So is there anything that the parks is trying, or the water resilience section talking about that for the 3rd and the 4th? Because the 4th is on a Saturday.
Yeah, so we are hearing different information from different agencies. We have heard from the Parks Department that they don't know yet. We heard from EDC that they assume it's open, but then we also heard from the construction team that's working on that closed area that they were expecting it to be closed. And we know that it is a safety issue to have huge numbers of people coming through Pier 35 and Pier 36 and party boats. That's so near to a construction zone, but as of this afternoon, it was not clear who was making the decision or what the decision is. So that's why Susan and Trevor are continuing to look into it. Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you. All right, up next is May with Health and Human Services. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So at Health and Human Services, it's on page 5 of your vote sheet. We don't have anything for you to vote on tonight, but we did have a presentation of, from Barrier-Free Living. They opened up a new facility for formerly homeless seniors. It's called Freedom Village for formerly homeless seniors, 55 years and older, and also survivors of domestic violence. So it is a new housing for them. So there is a slideshow about it on our website under our agenda item if you're interested in seeing the slideshow. We also discussed the human services section of the district needs statement, which is, it's, I think, about half of the statement. So for us, for our committee, it's always a lot of work. Are there any questions from board members? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Clint with SLA. Thank you.
All of our items returned the stipulations. Everything was approved. Does anyone have any questions about any of the items that were on the agenda? Great, hearing none.
Thank you, Clint. All right, Damaris with Land Use.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Damaris Reyes, Chair now of Land Use. Happy Election Day and welcome to all the new board members. We had a couple of items. The first item was a resolution, you'll find it in your vote sheet. And basically, it is a resolution of input and guidance that we are giving to the Parks Department. I'm sorry, to
I'm in the wrong committee. It's a EDC regarding the Essex Street Markets RFP. And if you recall, we had talked about wanting to have input and feedback. And so this is the culmination of multiple discussions, meetings, people who attended, giving us their, feedback about the important things that they want to see happen at the Essex Market and what kind of vendor we'd like to see operating in the market. So you'll see the resolution in your vote sheet. There were no issues. Everybody supported the resolution. The other presentation that came before us was This Land is Ours, CLT. And so they made a presentation about community land trusts and the campaign that Cooper Square and other folks are, running to establish support in New York City for land trust as a model of affordability and keeping housing affordable. And so we also then talked about the district needs, and that was it. Any questions? Okay, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Thank you.
Catherine is here to speak about landmarks and the resolution there. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. I'm going to keep this short. Welcome to all the new members. Let's see. So Landmarks Committee had actually two items. Take this off because I can't see. The very first one had to do with St. Nicholas of Myra Orthodox Church. It's at 288 East 10th Street. It was very straightforward. They have deteriorating vinyl window, I think it's frames, and they've been asked, they need to replace it, and they're replacing it with aluminum windows. They'll be the same color so that they blend in with the existing church. And there'll be no damage to the landmarked building. And so we were in favor of that. So hopefully no questions there. And then the second one was St. Mark's Church in the Bowery at 131 East 10th Street. And this is unique because for those of you who were here last year when we went through, or the last several years when we went through the changes under City of Yes, this is actually the first time that this kind of maintenance plan is being proposed. It's a transfer of air rights, and the receiving development will be at 50-64 3rd Avenue. And essentially, in the past, whenever there was a transfer of air rights, it had to go through a ULURP proceeding, and it had to go before City Council. Under the new, more relaxed requirements of City of Yes, it doesn't have to do that. It simply has to go before us, and then it does have to go to Landmarks, and they have to approve it. And what's unusual is they have to come forward with a complete continuing maintenance plan. And they made a very long and in-depth presentation. The presentation was by Buyer Blender Bell as the architects, and they did conduct a comprehensive condition survey of the buildings, all the landmark properties of the church, and presented their maintenance plan. And I'll be glad to offer any questions you might have. We don't really know what the receiving site will look like. They are not transferring all their air rights. They're only transferring a portion of it. And we have no idea what the building will look like because that's actually not part of the landmarks. For us, it's just a question of how the landmark is affected. And I assume this will have to come back under land use. So any questions? Was that understandable, or do anyone have questions? Nope. Great. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Up next is Arnett with cannabis.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the new members. We had two applications, one withdrawn, the SWK 743 Inc., which was proposed to be located at 156 Delancey Street. They withdrew their application, so we did not talk about them, discuss them. The second application that came to us is MAD GIO and Proper Prince LLC, which was approved. And Molly, I'll give you the resolution now since it was not on the vote sheet. My bad. Whereas MAD GIO and Proper Prince LLC, located at 68 Clinton Street, New York, 1002, have applied for a retail license. Hours of operations would be 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday through Saturday. Therefore, be it resolved, Community Board 3 have approved this application. So those are the two, well, that's the one that we discussed. And that was it. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're nearing the end. We have personnel task force. May is going to give a report. There was an error in the printing in the vote sheet, so we have a separate resolution. If you didn't receive them, they're up here at the front.
Hi, everyone. It's that piece of paper over there. So we actually, the Personnel Task Force actually met just right before this meeting after the vote sheet was printed. So that's why this is on a separate piece of paper. So what we are voting on is to approve staff salary increases for the senior community associate, that's Edwin Chan, and also the community associate, Marshall Triolo, Caroline Marshall. The Office of Management and Budget has confirmed that we have money for these increases. It's $2,000 for Edwin, $2,000 for Marshall, and that we also have money to support the new salaries going into next year. So these are retroactive increases. For Edwin, the senior community associate, it would be retroactive to July 1, which is July 1, 2025, which is the start of this fiscal year, which is going to be over in a few days. And for Marshall, it'll be retroactive to her start date. She started in February of this year. So these are merit increases. We have some information about why they're so deserving of it, and they truly are. And let's see, what else do you need to know? So the information is here, what the salaries are being increased to from what to what. And it's $2,000 per person per year. Are there any questions from board members? Oh, one more thing. So we, at our personnel task force meeting, we wanted to clarify something. It is in the first whereas. Molly, I'll give you the what it is here. So right now it says, whereas staff shortage in the past year has resulted in excess personnel services funding that will allow for the salary increase. So instead, we want to say, whereas a gap in staffing in this past year resulted in excess personnel services funding. So it is because of a gap. We had some extra money from the gap. Are there any questions? Okay, seeing none. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And just to note, the bylaws task force was canceled this month, but we'll revisit that in the future. Eric, anything to report from the task force from Brooke Bathhouse? Okay, thank you. All right, just a quick note before we do a roll call vote. If you're a new member and would like to sit next to someone, just to clarify voting, yes, you would vote yes if you agree to everything. If you don't agree with, something, one of the resolutions, you just voice that, so Arnett will take that down for you. If you have any questions, there's a lot of veterans I see over here in the middle, so feel free to, I'm holding all of you. Thanks. I'll pass it to you, Arnett.
All at once. But you can say. You can do that.
Okay, here I go again. I'm going to spell the last name for Adam. Adam, Alghalith. Adam, here? Were you here earlier? Okay, I got you. And yes for all? Okay. Stephen Ballinger? Oh, I'm sorry. Tanya Bates? Lee Berman? Carlin Chan? Andrea Chua? Vincent Carito? Claudia De La Cruz? Yes. Okay. Eric Diaz? Alistair Economics? Taisha Fields? Hey, Naima Fafana? John Fout? Catherine Freed? Or abstain from transportation? 4 and 5. Sean Garcia? Ryan Gilliam? Charlie Golden, SONH? Andrea Gadilio? Herman Hewitt? Yes and no one what? No what? Yes, okay. Trevor Holland? Mary John? Nancy Kong? Michelle Cooper Smith? Okay, I'm sorry, abstain on exec 1 and 2 and thank you. Diane Lake? Francisco LeBron? Mei Lee? Michael Lavario? Molly Lou? Troy Mack? Campbell Munn? You abstaining on land loose too? Present not voting, you said? Gotcha. I'm sorry, I just want to make sure. No on exec 2, present not voting on land use and John NEIDH, DICH. Indrani, thank you. Gravin Oliveras. Daisy Paez. Elena Perez. Elena? Okay, thank you. Raud, Rahmanin, he is not here. I am sitting doing his thing, so he's not here. Ramino Rao. Damaris Reyes. Tal Raud. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm messing up your name. Wrote it, okay, just how it's spelled, thanks. Jaylene Rodriguez. Jaylyn, sorry. Arnett Scott, yes. Clint Smelter. Sandra Struther. Daniel Tannell. Zachary Thomas. This is Serengeti. Serengeti, how you pronounce your last name again? Serengeti and Timingwa, yes? Thank you. Alejandro Torres. Zuli Velasquez. I'm sorry. Abstaining for everything? Sure. I'm sorry. Josephine Velez. Thank you, Josephine. And Kathleen Webster. Thank you, everybody.